I'm Blake Leverett from Colorado Springs. I first got involved with judicial corruption in 2006 during a divorce case. I've seen numerous instances of judges not following the law, lawyers basically lying to the court, and other kinds of misconduct. One big incident that happened to me is I had my daughters living with me, and we had in the divorce case an arbiter assigned to our case named Carol Reinert, and she spent a lot of time talking to me and talking to everyone in the family. She wrote a report eventually to, give custody to one parent or the other. During the case, she said a lot of things that made me suspicious of her motives or of her in general. I started recording her conversations. I came to the conclusion that she's probably one of the most dishonest people I have ever met in my life. And I found out too late that during this time when she was telling me that my ex-wife was mentally ill and couldn't possibly care for the children, and that my ex-wife being an admitted child molester, that it wouldn't be appropriate to put little girls with her. What I didn't know is that for the last few weeks of that evaluation, she was working behind my back to talk to other people and find a way to take the kids from me. Apparently my ex-wife's rather wealthy parents came to visit to Colorado Springs and talked to Carol Reinert. They apparently paid her some money. I don't know how much or when. I've never gotten accounting of that. But shortly after that, she issued an arbitrator's award giving custody to my ex-wife and no contact for me whatsoever. Even though she cited no particular reason for no contact, there was no danger from me. We fought that in court. I entered a motion to have a de novo hearing, asked for de novo hearing. Judge Sells denied the motion and claimed that I had filed the wrong motion. What I really needed to do was file a Chapter 13 motion or to challenge the arbitrator's award. Well, a month later, I filed that award. He denied that and said I should have filed a motion for a de novo hearing. So it was a bait and switch where he said, do this, and then I did that, and he said, you had to do the other thing. I put that in appeal. The appeals court wouldn't take my appeal because his order was never signed. I had to actually go in to the clerk's office, get them to stamp the order as signed when he was away, and so they stamped the order. The appeals court took it. They eventually threw it out anyway. I don't think they even read it because it was a pro se appeal. After a few months of this, I was served with a motion for contempt. He was charging, the opposing attorney, Mike Lucetta, was charging me with contempt because one of Carol Reinert's very earliest awards was that I should take the children to a specific psychologist. A friend of Carol Reinert's had to be this particular psychologist. I had tried to take them to that psychologist, but the scheduling was impossible. She simply didn't have time scheduled that worked for me. So I took them to another psychologist, worked this out with Carol Reinert. Everything was cool. And then later I get this motion for contempt. I thought it was frivolous because that motion had never even been entered with the court. The court had never even seen that piece of paper until it was entered as a contempt motion. I brought this up again and again in the court hearing, the several hearings we had about contempt, and the judge just simply didn't care that it wasn't entered. One district judge had to basically vet the motion and say, yes, this was entered, which was not. It was not entered. The trial magistrate, she went along with that, and then we appealed to the district court, and that Judge Sells, went along with the idea that it was somehow in order, even though it had never been seen by the court. Because of that, I went to jail for 2 weeks based on what was basically a lie by an attorney. He just wanted to get back at me. He had a lot of animosity toward me. At one point, he verbally assaulted my wife in a negotiation, and then 2 days later my ex-wife assaulted her physically. He seems to have a real vendetta out toward me. It's been a long time with a lot of really unbelievable scenarios. I know my story pales in comparison to some of the others that I've heard around town, but I think it's important everyone know, especially normal people who've never been involved with the court system, that there are really awful things going on, and if you haven't seen it, you simply wouldn't believe it with yourself. For yourself, I'm a regular guy. I'm not I'm not one of these people that goes to court all the time and gets in trouble or even wants to know anything about this. So people need to wake up and see that there are bad things going on in their local courts. I think Congress, the legislatures, we need to find a way to make courts accountable. We have these people called judges. They're supposedly educated in law, but if you look at what they do, it seems that they can't even read the law, much less interpret it or apply it. And there has to be accountability. We can't just let them ruin people's lives, and thousands of lives have been ruined without some sort of consequence.